Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF 44. So, I guess everything that happens in life can be turned into some wisdom, or you can take something from it, regardless of what it is. Something can be snatched from it a good 90% of the time. Right now, I got something going on in my life that I'm not even really certain of because of the nature of what is going on. Basically, a good, close... Well, no, I need to give you context. An ex of mine is going through something in her life, and she has developed reasons over time, with the help of myself, to not really want to share that information with me, which is not only her right, but something I actually don't have a problem with. And I've made it very clear throughout the day that I'm fine with this. And she then continues to say to me that she knows I'm not fine with this, and how serious it may be, and how she knows I'm dealing with the fact that I don't know and it's bothering me, but she feels it's best. As to which I then tell her, no, I'm kind of okay with not knowing. If you want me to know, I'm willing to be here for you, etc., etc. What I've taken from this situation is this: whatever's going on, I still do not know. But it became clear to me that we crossed over from a space of her being unhappy and not wanting to share that information for fear of the conversation that comes afterward. She seems to think that we're going to argue about whatever it is. I'm not with her anymore. I haven't been with this girl in a very long time. I haven't been attached to her in any way in a very long time. So, though she is a very sensitive triggering point for me in my life because of the nature of how serious our relationship was and how it went and how it ended, you know, it was a very, very difficult time for me, one of the most difficult times in my adult life. But, you know, we remained, of course, close enough to where this much of the information has come my way, but not close enough for where she feels like she can confide in me. And like I said, I pressed some buttons, even though I don't think what I did a lot of the time would have been received the same way by other people with her personality and with the dynamic that we had. I think that I probably just pressed the wrong buttons and lost her trust. But that's for her to judge. I don't, you know, that's for her to judge. I think at the end of the day, I think for me, it's just like I've realized that, it's almost like okay, I feel bad, but I'm going to feel a lot better if my ex feels worse about whatever it is. And it's like we're going from a place of, it's almost like she wants me to react a certain way and I'm not doing it, but she's still perpetuating as if I'm reacting that way anyway. An example of that is something that I saw very recently. It was an interview between two parties, and it was like the interviewee was trying to pick a fight with the person they were interviewing, and then the person they were interviewing kind of killed him with kindness. And in the end, since the plan was initially to be to get into an argument or to create some type of conflict or beef or whatever, and it didn't go that way, they didn't want to deviate from the final plan. And in other words, the interviewer was like, I know what I said made you angry, and you'll have to you're gonna cuss me out and all of that. And the person was just sitting there saying, no, I'm not angry at all. That's kind of along the lines of what's going on here. It's like, you really thought I was gonna react a certain way. I didn't, and you're still reacting as if I did. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you want me to help you feel better by feeling worse. You're hoping that because I care, it'll make you feel better that I don't know. You know, it's like, well, shit, everything is as it is. So let me make sure that my ex doesn't know what's going on, and let me see if I can feed off of that. I know how much he'll, in his normal state of mind, he will obsess over things and not let it go until I tell him. And then when he does find out, he's going to blow his top because he's always been so deeply attached to me. And the reality is, no, that's not what's going on here. What's actually going on here is I'm trying to help in whatever way you need me to help, independent of my happiness. And what I've identified in extending that to you is that you are trying to feed off of my unhappiness in response to it, for which I can't offer you. So I share that with the world to document the circumstance, because I feel like this type of thing happens when people are suffering with whatever they're suffering with. Sometimes they turn to people that are close to them, or people that they have conflict with, and try to see if they can make them feel worse so that they can feel better, or look at people that they've had issues with in the past and see this as an opportunity to feel loved by watching them squirm over what it is they don't know about you. And I can't give her that, because when I felt the way I felt about things and reacted the way that I did, it was real. And what's real to me now is to tell her this, and this, to try to help her situation, and then extend my spirituality and prayer and all that good stuff that usually is received well by people who believe in the same thing I do, which she does. But that's not what she wants. To me, it appears she just wants me to squirm so that she can feel empowered in the idea that somebody still obsesses over her like he used to. And I just don't. I've learned to love myself since leaving that situation, since not being in that situation. I've learned how to make it so that I can handle some of the things that otherwise would have made me squirm, quote unquote, in the past. I'm not squirming anymore. I'm actually pretty calm. I know what I bring to the table in regards to people who want help from me. I know what my voice can do in regards to people hearing what I have to say and taking from it what they need to. I know the power in the wisdom that I pray for and receive through the lessons that I've learned, through the circumstances I've witnessed other people go through, etc. I harp on wisdom and common sense in my prayers every day. So I'm asking for those things, and I'm receiving them and getting stronger every day. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. Those were not the practices of the person that she fell in love with. I was lost in those times. I was a different person, and she still believes that a lot of who that person was is within me, and it is, because I'm in the process of transitioning out of that space. But what I can't do is be who he was. So we are at a space right now. Picture it like this. I'm concerned. Oh, suddenly I realize that we've crossed over into a place where you're feeding off my concern, and feel nothing for that concern other than it feeds your ability to feel better. And that, I got to protect my energy. Once we get to about here and I realize this is a negative space for me, I got to stop. Time out. And I encourage you to take from this what you will. Do not, and I told my ex the same thing, don't get it twisted. If you're suffering and you're going through something and you don't trust somebody, you just don't trust them. But after they tell you they accept that, don't continue to perpetuate the idea that they're supposed to care more than they can based on the fact that you're not telling them anything and basically saying you don't trust them. You don't trust me, then stop conversing with me about what it is I don't know and listening to what I have to say in speculation, trying to basically, as naturally as human would, trying to get you to open up when you're dead set on being closed. That's okay. Truly, no one has to be comfortable talking to anybody. But once we get to a point where I realize you're starting to have fun with me sitting up here being concerned, instead of trying to ease that concern like a caring human being would do, that's when I realize that maybe, just maybe, whatever happened to you is coming to you purposefully from above. And that whatever you're involved in, you are not learning from, because you're continuing to reinforce negative energy in regards to it. When I'm in my worst, I may not feel like making everybody else feel better. But what I'm not going to do is look to make people feel worse if I want to stop feeling bad. Now, if I want to reinforce negative energy and continue to feel bad, I'm going to definitely look to make people feel bad, and I'm going to pick fights with everybody, and hopefully war comes and destroys me. But if that ain't the goal, then I definitely shouldn't be going down that path. You see what I'm saying? So, I've documented that. That's a moment in time. I'm sure I'll forget about it if I didn't document it. But there's a lesson in all of this. Don't feed negative energy even from those who are suffering around you. If someone wants to take your energy from you and leave you with nothing but concern for them, they don't need what it is that you have to offer. They need something else, and you can't give it to them. But what they can do is take something from you, and you got to stop them from doing it. That's the moral of the story. Protect your energy, ladies and gentlemen. A wounded animal in a corner is going to come out aggressive fighting. No different than a person who's had their heart broken. Sometimes they just turn evil because of the things that happen to them. And it makes them a worse person. And in turn, they will take all of the support from the people that love them and try to turn that energy back to those people that love them, just to reinforce that negative energy, to protect themselves from any good energy coming in. See, negative energy is going to protect itself from good energy, no different than good energy should protect itself from bad energy. They can't occupy the same space at the same time. So if you're sitting here feeling bad and you want others to feel bad, don't expect to feel better. Just because you naturally feed off negative energy in this circumstance, you will not. You will continue to suffer. If not for what it is that you're going through, for whatever's coming next because of what you're doing in response to it. God say vengeance is mine. Not because he wants to put your hands behind your back and let you sit there and suffer in waiting for your revenge. It's because when you dish out revenge, you're destroying yourself. It's just like a bee who stings you. Once that stinger has left that bee only has but so much time to live. Can't live without it. Yeah, it's his defense, but it's also his self-destruct button. So you got to be very careful not to self-destruct when you're suffering, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be very careful not to turn good energy into bad energy in response to bad energy or circumstances or negativity or tragedy or whatever is coming your way. Because karma still will keep coming. And there's no guarantee that what you're dealing with ain't karma for something that you did. You need to come in peace if you want to stop this cycle of suffering. My name is BDF44. I'm out.